Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. As promised, I did get the conversation with the person and have numerous updates in relation to Manchester United transfer plans and summer plans to come, as well as some updates that are in the generic press around Erling Haaland, Paul Pogba, but I have got updates on those as well. And what I would say is that the Erling Haaland story is very, very interesting. And it's going to be very interesting if it actually plays out what I've been told and what I'm about to tell you. Because, it feeds into what Manchester United are going to do this summer on numerous levels. And it's very interesting when, I've taken the notes down. Also got an update on Lingard. I didn't ask my guy about Lingard, so I don't know whether this is true, but apparently Lingard wants to go to West Ham, and that deal could happen. But we're talking about all that. I hope you're all doing very well this Saturday evening, I should say. But first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to Boohoo Man. You can probably guess I'm wearing Boohoo Man items myself, but you can get 40% off with the United Stand. Link is in the video description using that code. That code. Of course, video is sponsored by Boohoo Man today, and as you can see, I'm wearing some of their latest Boohoo Man active wear, which I have to be honest, I'm very impressed with. I do like it. I like it when I go for a run, and you know, it's nice to wear around the house and on shows as well. Been very impressed. It does everything that you would want from sporting wear at a fraction of the cost. Plus, it makes me look rather fit and fetching. I'm sure you would agree. If you want to get your hands on some Boohoo Man active wear or any other items they sell, we have an amazing 40% off when you use the code UnitedStand at checkout. So if you're in the market for some new clobber, then click the link in the description and get shopping. And thanks again to Boohoo Man for sponsoring the show. We really appreciate the support. And as I said, 40% off, links in the video description, and really good stuff in their activewear. I do like the hoodies and the material and everything. It's nice. It's good stuff. Okay, let's get on with the show. So as I said this morning, I had been in contact with somebody who I've spoken to not a couple of times, quite regularly over the last few years, as people who are regular on the show will know. I've sort of avoided these conversations, to be honest with you, since what happened with Sancho in the summer. Not because I don't think that person's credible. I think they're very credible. It's the same person who told me about Sanchez and other deals over the years. So I just disengaged. I disengaged because I was so enthralled in the Sancho deal. I really thought it was going to happen, as did Romano, as did a lot of people, and it didn't happen. And I think sometimes you get to a point with Manchester United where you just, you lose faith in what they're actually doing. So that, even when I see it from people I know are getting information, I know Manchester Evening News get information from Manchester United. I know certain other journalists do. So I always take it seriously, but I also take it with a pinch of salt, because do Manchester United actually deliver? So the stories, the updates I've written down here from the conversation I've had this afternoon. We're going to start off with Erling Haaland. So effectively, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is obsessed with Erling Haaland in a very good way. He trained him at Molde. He absolutely wanted Manchester United to sign him the Christmas before last. I think he expected Manchester United to sign him. He's a striker. He's Norwegian. Ole's got a good relationship with him. As I said, he trained him at Molde. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his number one priority, as far as everybody is concerned, is that Solskjaer would love Erling Haaland at Manchester United. And Manchester United appreciate that. And I think it's very obvious from how Ole has reacted, and you can't knock Ole for that. I just want to quickly say I don't knock Ole for wanting Erling Haaland. He is going to be one of the best strikers in the world, and obviously that Norwegian affiliation. He trained him at Molde. He's got a good relationship. You can't knock Ole for wanting him. I don't think we need Haaland. I do, but I think we need other areas. But Ole's obsession is Haaland, and he wants him to come to Manchester United. Now, what I've been told is that is the case. Ole does want Erling Haaland, but Manchester United are not going to sign Erling Haaland. Maybe when he was at Salzburg, there was a chance, there was an opportunity when they were fighting with Dortmund, but not anymore. And Ole's obsession, United can't deliver on it. They can't deliver this deal. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants him, but Manchester United can't deliver that deal. But also, Manchester United don't necessarily think it's a good deal for them anyway. They don't have a great history with Mino Raiola, whatever the thing is now. And we'll talk about Pogba in a minute and what I was told about that. But with Mino Raiola, nobody even knows if he's been in England for the last year, let alone having conversations with Manchester United about Pogba. But there certainly is a very up and down history with Mino Raiola. And it's obvious that Erling Haaland, wherever he goes, will leave within the next 2 or 3 years anyway. And that's not really part of Manchester United. So what I was told is that Manchester United are not going to sign Erling Haaland. And it would be stunning if they did. It would be the biggest backing of a manager the Glazers have ever done. Even Sir Alex Ferguson didn't get that level of support where they would spend that amount of money on a player that the manager really, really wanted. And the words I had this afternoon were, this would be like Manchester United under the Glazers going out and buying who was fantastic 10 years ago. I mean, probably Lionel Messi is a bit harsh, but just think of a striker that's one of the best strikers in the world 10, 12 years ago, and Manchester United go and get him for Sir Alex Ferguson. And what was basically said to me is Sir Alex Ferguson's the greatest manager there's ever been. The Glazers wish they had him at 55 managing this club, but even Sir Alex Ferguson didn't get delivered A-star signings like this. So, what was said to me was that Manchester United, 1, can't afford it, 2, don't want to do it, and 3, don't really want to deal with Mino Raiola anyway. But they know Ollie would love this player, and in that sense, they've got to, make it look as if they're interested, and maybe they are sort of interested. But to deliver a signing like this would be backing on 2 levels that Manchester United don't do. 1, it would be giving the manager their absolute dream signing, and 2, it would be paying ridiculous amount of money to do it. And Manchester United just don't do those sort of things. So what was actually said to me is that if Manchester United sign Erling Haaland this summer, fans should be amazed, because it's just not what Manchester United do under the Glazers. It's not even close. This would be a stunning signing, and they haven't got the money to do it. They don't really want to work with Raiola, and I think there is a feeling within Manchester United that there are other areas that need to be worked on. So I would say with Erling Haaland, I wouldn't think it was going to happen. I really, really wouldn't. And that, of course, as I've said, it's good for Manchester United to be associated with this, and we are associated with it, and it is good. But it's just not Manchester United. At the end of the day, Barcelona want Erling Haaland. Other clubs want them. There's a presidential thing going on at Barcelona where he's saying he wants to bring Haaland to the club. They're trying to clear players out to bring him to Barcelona. There's other clubs interested in as well. Manchester United, just even if they wanted to, they can't do this deal. That's what I was told. They can't do a deal like that at the value it's going to be. Whether somebody else can or not, I don't know. Welcome to the Members Club, Man United FC 1999. I'm Ollie out, but not because I don't like him, because even if he gets his transfers, I don't trust him, says Ari Godelia. Also, a United manager needs to work miracles, and I don't think he can do it. So, effectively, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that Haaland, not going to happen. Manchester United can't deliver it, but Ollie would love it to happen. The next thing, I've got Grealish here. Basically, I asked about a lot of players. So, Grealish, nothing. Like not that it's not definitely going to happen, not that it's going to happen. There's just nothing. There's no noise around Jack Grealish to Manchester United. This time last year, you could probably be quite confident that there was something going to happen, but there's nothing going on around Jack Grealish and Manchester United. Paul Pogba. With Paul Pogba, the noise coming out of United, I was told today, is that there is nothing going on with Paul Pogba. There are no negotiations going on with Paul Pogba, that Manchester United haven't even decided themselves what they want to do with Paul Pogba. They want him to stay, but they don't know how far they want to go with it. And effectively with Paul Pogba, they'd have to probably offer David De Gea type wages, 375 grand a week. They don't know whether they want to do that. They don't know whether Pogba would want to stay anyway. And that with Paul Pogba, they feel that it's up in the air, that it really depends what Paul Pogba can do with Mino Raiola up until about June, July time around the Euros, and that will decide what he does. So Manchester United and Paul Pogba at the moment, there is nothing in the pipeline either way. United don't feel resigned to losing him, but they also haven't staked a claim to keep him yet, because they feel that it's just something that won't get sorted out until the summer anyway. So I don't think that's a negative on Paul Pogba. I think it's probably quite a mature approach from Manchester United, really. They're like, well, look, there's a very real chance that Paul Pogba's going to go, but we haven't it's a bit like a game of poker. You know, they haven't played their hand yet. They're just like, we could offer him 375k. He might not take it. He might take it, but now is not the time to do it. So there you go. Also on the centre defensive midfield position, I asked about that. What I was told is that Manchester United really do like Declan Rice. They do like Declan Rice. He fits the profile of a sort of player that they would want. Young, ready to take the next step, very impressive. He's shown leadership qualities. He's Premier League proven. It's not the fact that he's British. They actually like the fact that he's young. He's got further gears to go through. He's shown great quality at West Ham. He's a leader. He's exactly what they would like. And Manchester United would be very interested in Declan Rice. But what I was told is there's two issues with this. One, they don't feel they've got the money for it, because West Ham would want 60 million, and obviously Man United, well, we'll talk about Sancho in a minute, but there are other areas. You can't sign a right winger, a centre back, and spend 60 million pounds on a midfielder. But above anything else, their biggest problem with Declan Rice is that they don't think Declan Rice wants to come to Manchester United. They do like him. The word I was told is they admire Declan Rice, and he's definitely a player they would like to have at Manchester United, but there's nothing firm or serious about it because, one, they don't know how they would fund that deal when they're looking at other positions, but two, they don't think Declan Rice would want to come to Manchester United. So that's what I was told about Declan Rice, which is very interesting, isn't it? Because we have sort of we've sort of felt that. I've said it, you've said it. I don't feel that we're looking for a centre defence midfielder, even though I think it's the priority position this summer. We don't feel that there is anything going on with that. But if that's true about Declan Rice, that actually feels about right. That we admire Declan Rice like you admire your neighbour's car, but you're not going to go and buy it. And they probably don't want to sell it either. So admiration of a centre defensive midfielder that would be very useful for us isn't going to help us out. As for any other centre defence midfielder, I was told flat, there's nothing. A bit like Jack Grealish, there's just no noise around a centre defensive midfielder. There's no noise around Jack Grealish. I just simply got that about Declan Rice. So, I don't know about that one. It's a bit disappointing. Why do you think our players always start games very slow and continue to play like that for 45 minutes before they up the tempo? So frustrating, says Leander. I don't know, mate. I don't know. You mean, is it tactical, or is it the players can't start a game quickly? I don't know. So yeah, that's on Declan Rice. So we've spoken about Haaland. We've spoken about Pogba. What else did I ask him about? Sancho. We've got Sancho and centre backs to talk about. So I asked about Sancho. What I was told about Sancho is Sancho still appeals to Manchester United, but nothing is. What's that say? Sancho still appeals, but indecisive, and Ollie's unsure. So, effectively, with Jadon Sancho, obviously last summer we were very close to doing a deal and we didn't get the deal done. With Jadon Sancho in the summer, because I did ask about that, because you think, well, are we still in for him? Manchester United still very much like Jadon Sancho, and they would still very much like him to come to Manchester United, but there's a level of indecisiveness about it, because it's like, he's going to I think what I was told is that Manchester United do not know whether Sancho still wants the move, whether it's the right move for them, and whether Dortmund are going to shift on price, because they cannot go into another summer where Dortmund are not going to shift on the price. Where if Dortmund want £80 million, it sort of rules United out, and they can't spend a summer doing that again. Once bitten, twice shy, basically. They cannot go into a summer where they are wasting all summer after a player and do it twice and not get him. So it's not that they don't want Jadon Sancho. I think they would like Jadon Sancho, but obviously with Amad Diallo there, and also Ollie is apparently a little bit unsure about it. Not that he doesn't want him, but it's like there's a bit of uncertainty around. Well, I suppose I can comment on this and you can comment on this. There appears to be a lot of question marks about Manchester United's summer transfer window. The Haaland thing clearly probably isn't going to happen. Pogba thing, they don't know what's going to happen. The midfield thing, they don't feel that can happen. The Sancho thing, it's a lot of money. If we do that deal, there's nothing else that really can happen. Do we want to do that? Do we not want to do that? And what I was told is that there's an indecisiveness around Manchester United and Sancho at the moment. Not that a decision won't be made on that over the next few weeks, maybe the international break, maybe into April. But at the moment, with Jadon Sancho, it's unsure as to what can be done. And what I was told is you've got to take into account that there is uncertainty around Dortmund and what Dortmund are going to ask for. Because if Dortmund ask for a lot of money, Manchester United can't really be getting involved in that again. But Sancho does want to leave. I'm sure Manchester United's board love the speculation surrounding Sancho, so doubt this rumour will start, says Red Baron. And I think that's a great point from Red Baron. You cannot... I said this about Haaland a few days ago. It benefits Manchester United to be linked to Erling Haaland. They will never put a story out saying we're not going to sign Erling Haaland because, one, it sort of undermines the manager. I mean, if you've joined in a bit late, sorry, because I can't keep going back over things. But basically, Ollie wants Haaland, but Manchester United can't deliver it. But United won't come out and say, can you imagine if there was a story tomorrow morning from Ed Woodward? We can't afford Erling Haaland. That would create so much shit. So actually, it's better for United if they are linked to him. And the same with Jadon Sancho, like Red Baron says. But I think with Jadon Sancho at the moment, obviously no decision has been made. What the club PR put out is always different to owners. Same old, designed to make fans happy, says Andy and Bruno. Well, to be fair, I think this update I got this afternoon was good. I think it's a good update, and I think there's some. I mean, we'll have to see if it pans out to be true or not, but there are some sprouts of positivity, but there is also some clarity there. I think the Haaland story is a dead end being played out for the benefit of Manchester United's publicity, I suppose. The Sancho thing is going to run, like Red Baron says. The Pogba thing, there's no decision on that yet. The CDM thing looks highly unlikely. Centre-back, I need to talk about that next. I heard you've been offered the job to replace Piers Morgan by ITV with Ricky as your co-host, says Zane. And also, Sharim Vanshan says, thoughts on Kessie for Delo as he is? Better than McFred. If PSG are interested in Pogba, what about Pogba for Kimpembe or Makinos? Says Sharim. Well, you know what? I don't think AC Milan want Delo. I think AC Milan want Tomori. And I think Kessie's going to Chelsea by the sounds of it. So there you go. The final thing I asked about was a centre back. What I was told about that is in relation to a specific player, they couldn't give me any information on that. They said, look, there's a lot of names out there at the moment. I wouldn't necessarily believe them. I asked about Pau Torres and Koundé and Varane. And what I was told is that, look, Manchester United are in the market for a top-class centre-back. That's basically what's been briefed out there. Nobody really knows who they're looking at, which is why you get stories about United have scouted Ben White, United have scouted Pau Torres, United want Varane. The reality is that nobody knows who Manchester United are looking at, and that probably means Manchester United don't know who they're going for yet. There are a lot of names out there, but it could be that it could be Koulibaly as much as it could be Badiashile. It could be Pau Torres as much as it's Ben White. Nobody really knows at the moment. Manchester United are in the market for a centre-back, but what I was told is this deal is fit. Manchester United and people around Manchester United feel that this deal is a key deal to the ambition of the club, not only under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but for the next few years. Everybody knows Manchester United want a centre-back. Manchester United know that everybody knows they want a centre-back. And this deal within the club is felt as a key deal to show their ambition. Now, you interpret that how you feel. That's what I was told. It's a key deal for Manchester United to show their ambition going forward. Now, whether that will show the ambition we want or whether it will show the ambition we don't want, I don't know. But I think that's quite encouraging that it's, Manchester United are apparently aware that this is a key deal and the eyes are on them for this. Rightly or wrongly, the centre-back deal is the one that everybody's focusing on. All of the media, a lot of our fans, and the club are aware of this, and it's seen as the deal that they can do, which will show their ambition. Now, they might think signing Ben White shows their ambition, and a lot of people might say it shows a bad ambition, but we will have to wait and see. But what is without a doubt is that Manchester United are going to sign a centre-back in the summer. We're not going to come out of this summer and not sign a centre-back. Who it's going to be, I must admit I was a little bit disappointed by that update, because obviously this morning we were talking about Torres and Koundé and Varane. And as I said, I was told I wouldn't read too much into names at the moment. As we all know, with Manchester United, it becomes very clear very quickly when Manchester United are after a player. Names like Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes were mentioned. When United start to move, it trickles out very, very quickly. And I was told that at the moment, United are not making a move on a centre-back. Everyone knows they're going to make a move for a centre-back, but nobody knows who that centre-back is. So what you're getting is a lot of leaks, a lot of stories. I mean, there was one about, what's his name from Italy? What was his name? You'll know in the live comments. What was his name? Italian player. Was it Mancini at Roma or something like that? Liam Deegan says, slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You say that you'd never been, but all the things that you've seen will slowly fade away. Gonna start a revolution from my bed. Bastoni, that was it, not Mancini. But yes, so look, I think on a centre-back, unfortunately, not much I could give you on that from the conversation I had. I think in general, the conversation I had was good. I mean, I will link in with them more over the coming weeks and months. But, I mean, I suppose the most encouraging thing I would take from that was the Haaland thing. I'm just going to... With Haaland, I'm just going to think it's not going to happen. Because that's basically what I was told. With Pogba, obviously, we're just going to have to wait and see. With Sancho, there is indecisiveness there. We are going to get a centre-back, but there's no indication yet which player they're going for. The CDM is probably the most disappointing thing. Admirers FC. Manchester United admire Declan Rice. Well, they probably admire Lionel Messi. They probably admire Neymar. But we're not going to get them, are we? And I think that's the one... For me, I'd still say centre-back and CDM would be the positions that we're looking at. But good information there, and I hope you appreciate that. What about the goalkeeper situation, says Naresh? I didn't even ask about the goalkeeper situation, so I can't give you an update on that. What I would say about the goalkeeper situation is that surely this is a load of crap. I mean, it has to. I mean, why would we be looking at a goalkeeper when we've got Henderson and De Gea? I'm more than happy for one of those goalkeepers to be our first choice keeper. For me, it's De Gea. If United decide they're going to sell him, as long as they get the money, then we go with Henderson. But we don't need to buy another goalkeeper. I think that's ridiculous. Neither of those... I think it's massively disrespectful to both goalkeepers that we might be looking at a Donnarumma or an Oblak. What we should be looking at is just a decent championship standard goalkeeper that can sit on the bench for most of the season and never play. Romero was perfect for that. That's all we should be looking at there. Did you hear about maybe Cavani leaving to Boca, says Walser? I didn't ask about that. I wish I had asked about that, actually, because I'm sure there might have been a bit of an update on that. But no, I mean, I think with Cavani, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's not sounding positive. As I said this morning, with the club being linked to stories about him being fit but not wanting to play effectively. That's not good, is it? Hi, Mark. So basically you're saying United have no idea what they're doing in the transfer market. We'll wait until the summer to decide, says Lewis Webb. Well, Lewis, I like your bluntness. Let's party like an oligarch, says Liam Deegan. I like your bluntness, but to be fair, that's not really what I was told. In a summary, Sancho, they don't know what they're doing. Pogba, they're waiting to see what Pogba's doing. Centre-back, they are after a centre-back. No, but there's not been a move made for one yet. A centre defensive midfielder, unless Declan Rice comes out wearing a Manchester United shirt, we're not looking at a CDM at the moment. But Haaland, I suppose what it is, we're not looking at anybody at the moment. You're probably right. But Haaland is not a deal that Manchester United can do. Ollie is obsessed with him, as we know, and I say obsessed in a good way. He would love to have him. He knows the lad. He's trained the lad. He's Norwegian. He would love to have him at Manchester United, but that ship sailed a year ago when we didn't do the deal from Salzburg. It's an impossible deal for Manchester United to do, and as I said, and as I was told, if United did sign Haaland, because I said, so we're definitely not getting Haaland, and what I was told is, United can't do that deal. It's just not possible for them to do it. But what they said is, but... if they did do that deal, it would be on a scale that the Glazers have never done a deal before. It's not like Tom Brady at the Buccaneers, because that's like bringing Ronaldo back, who's nearly going to retire. This would be signing the world's most valuable asset at the moment. There's only Mbappe that can rival Haaland at the moment. This would be Manchester United and the owners spending a ridiculous amount of money and backing a manager with not their first choice, their gold star choice. They will not do that. They didn't even do it for Sir Alex Ferguson, who they worshipped. They won't do that because the money, as we know, the Glazers love money. They won't chuck money. And also, what we've got to remember is, and I wasn't told this, but I suppose it feeds in. Why would Manchester United? I think if Sir Alex Ferguson's your manager, and you know he's the best manager in the world, and you know he's Mr. Manchester United, and you know he's going to deliver, then signing him Ronaldo 9 or Batistuta or whatever great players there were, Zidane's, that when Sir Alex Ferguson was around, it's money well spent because you know that he's the greatest manager anyway, and you're just giving him an elite player. If you do that for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what has Solskjaer done to justify that outlay on one gold standard player? He hasn't, and that's not a criticism of Ole. That is just a reminder of who our board is. To go and spend that amount of money on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for one player, it would be stunning. Be stunning for our board to do it. So I don't think we'll do it. I never thought we were going to do it, but I have been told that they can't do that deal. They can't do that deal. They don't have the money to do that deal. It would basically not just this transfer window, probably next transfer window's budget to do it. So, it would be amazing if they did it. So there you go. Lingard plus cash for Rice, says Sean Murphy. Well, look, this is not from my guy I was talking to. There was a story this afternoon. I've seen it around social media quite a lot. That apparently West Ham are very confident that they're going to get Jesse Lingard in the summer. And Jesse Lingard is loving his life down in East London. I hope this is true. I really do hope this is true. I think that this would be a fantastic move for Jesse. I think that he looks revitalised. I think that he is everything many of you predicted and we spoke about. We've been saying this for probably 18 months. Jesse Lingard is a first-team player for a Bournemouth or a West Ham or a Newcastle or maybe an Everton. He's not a top 4 first-teamer. There's a big difference. Now, West Ham could be top 4 tomorrow night, but they're not really a top 4 team, are they? They're not a traditional big club. But Lingard fits them like a glove. He's their best player. So, perfect move for him. Brilliant move for him. Brilliant move for West Ham. 1 year left on the contract. Perfectly affordable for West Ham. I hope it's going to happen for Jesse. I hope it's going to happen for West Ham, and I hope it's going to happen for us. What I hope is going to happen is that a few other clubs click their ears up and go, he's bloody brilliant. He'd be brilliant for us, Leicester. He'd be brilliant for us, Southampton. He'd be brilliant for us, AC Milan. And we get a bit of a bidding war going. And I think that's the ideal situation for Manchester United. But could we do a Declan Rice, Jesse Lingard thing? Well, as I said before, the feeling from Man United is that that Declan Rice doesn't want to come to Manchester United. I don't know why. He watches me play on FIFA. Come to Manchester United, Declan. We will like you. You'll be very welcome. You will be. I tell you what, you'll be a king. You'll be King Rice from day one. Have you seen our midfield? If Mark Noble decided not to retire and come up, we'd love him as well. But you're actually very, very good, and you can get better. Declan Rice would be loved by Manchester United fans because he's very good at what he does. He can get better. He's a leader. This is a guy that comes out after games and says, look, I feel responsible for the goal we've conceded. We don't get that sort of thing at Man United. So you'd be very, very welcome, Declan. But I think it's the whole London thing. I think it's weird. I've got to be honest, in the modern game, it's a little bit weird. You can understand a player not wanting to leave London, but look, it's Manchester. It's not Greenland or the North Pole. You're not going on a trek for 3 years in the freezing cold. It's Manchester. And it's a bigger club than any club in London. So, and look, I've said this many times before, I am very biased, but there is no fan base in England that will give you the profile or attention or backing that Manchester United will give you. And look, people will say, well, no, there are players that get a lot of stick, but that's because they don't perform. If you perform in a Man United shirt and you show that you can, you won't feel that amount of focus than you will at any other club. So, but yeah, there is an opportunity for Manchester United to do something with Lingard and Rice. Of course there is. We'd have to give West Ham some money as well, but I'm not confident we're going to get a CDM at the moment. I feel quite depressed about it, to be honest. Any news on the Ronaldo returning rumours, says Salah Ahmed? I mean, I saw something in that Duncan Castles podcast about it and Tom Brady, but it's only what we've been mentioning on here for weeks. I don't think there's anything concrete there. I don't think Ronaldo's decided on his future. And I don't think Manchester United want to do it. I don't think they do. I mean, I'd love it to happen, but I don't think they want it to happen. Julian S. What if Maguire's statement is true? After all, he's the reason why we're called Brexit FC. Also, Ollie loves Brit players and plays football like Sean Dyche, says Julian S. Well, I'm actually quite surprised that Manchester United haven't come out and said something about that, because if anybody didn't see the quote this morning, we were talking about it. Basically, there's this story that Harry Maguire apparently has said he wants an English-speaking or English-born centre-back who understands English culture to play next to him next season. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't believe it. I don't think Harry Maguire would do that. I don't think Manchester United would allow somebody to say that. You know, this is a diverse world. It's it's an international football league. It has been for decades. It's just a stupid, naive, idiotic comment. I cannot believe for 1 minute that Harry Maguire would do that. I don't believe he's done that. I suppose you could say, well, how do Manchester United come out and deal with that? Well, I think they should. I think it's very unfair on Harry Maguire that he gets associated with something like that. I can't for the life of me believe that he would do that. And what if Man United did get Ben White? Maguire would get pelters. You know, I think Maguire's had a lot of stick over the last year, mainly because of things off the pitch, which I think is irrelevant to football. But, you know, he's had justified criticism because of some of his performances. The funny thing is, when he plays with Eric Bailly, I think he's played very, very well. And Eric Bailly is not English. So why would Harry Maguire say, and neither is Victor Lindelof. If Harry Maguire wants an English player who understands English culture, why is he not demanding to play with Tuan Sebi, who actually I think would suit him better than Lindelof anyway? So I think it's a flawed story. I don't think there's any truth in it at all. Hey Mark, you cool brother, says Jay Perriman. Thank you very much for the super chat there. You can do that through the dollar sign. Please smash a like on the video, by the way, and subscribe to the channel. There was a story coming out about Paul Pogba, and I can't remember where it came from. Spain. It came from Spain. That Juventus are in for Paul Pogba, but there is now interest from a big Spanish club in Paul Pogba. We're going to get that. I think this next week's going to be really interesting, because I think Paul Pogba's going to go on French international duty. I think that's out of order if he doesn't play a game for us this week. But I think he will go on French international duty. And I think if he does go on French international duty without playing for us, that shows who wears the trousers at Manchester United. But if he goes on French international duty, there's going to be stories about leaving Manchester United. There will be, because it always happens when he's on French international duty. And this is the last international break before the transfer window. Do I think clubs are interested in Paul Pogba? Of course I do. He's a very, very good footballer. I think Real Madrid would like him, Barcelona would like him, PSG would like him, Juventus would like him. There's a lot of other good clubs that would like him. But have they got the money to get him? Can they afford him? That's the thing that Riola's trying to sort out. Why do I have this horrible feeling that Ollie is literally pleading with Matic to stay on for another year because he hasn't got a clue what to sign there, says Neil. I think that's a very good point, Neil. I think you're absolutely spot on, because when I think about it, and I do not want to think about it, but when I think about it, well, I've got people messaging me who are Forest fans, because I grew up in Nottingham, and they're saying to me, James Garner's fantastic, can we have him for another year? And I'm saying, look, I've watched a couple of his games. Do you think he's ready to play for Manchester United in the midfield? And I get laugh. They laugh. They go, no, of course he's not. He's a brilliant young lad, and he's one of our best players. But he's not ready to play in a Premier League Manchester United side next season. No way. So Garner's not going to be playing next season as a first teamer, and if he is, he's not ready to take on that level of pressure. McTominay and Fred will be here. Now, if we're not buying a centre defensive midfielder, it's McTominay and Fred, but that's not enough. So it's Nemanja Matic. Of course it is. I can't understand why we're not linked to a centre defensive midfielder, because it makes no sense. Dean plus Jesse for Rice, Pogba for Varane, Sancho for 50 million, backup right back for 20 million. We can still let Mata and Matic and Delo and Andreas go for cash. Net spend under 80 million, Tish for Vanshan. I like Pogba, he's a good guy in football, says Liam. I'm pretty sure Liam's on the sauce, to be honest with you. Fulham are playing well, says PJ Ling, and Barca are now a dead club, they can't rebuild, says Arya. And hey Mark, if Pogba leaves, we are in danger in the midfield position. Van der Beek never starts, Fred and Matic and McTominay are not CDMs, and no creativity. Can I just say very, very quickly, talking about football, we've had a pretty good day today in relation to results. If we draw against West Ham tomorrow, we've got away with it because Chelsea have drawn, Everton have lost, we're playing West Ham. All right, Leicester might beat Sheffield United, but a draw for us tomorrow in relation to the race for the top four, nobody's really made any ground on us. So it's almost a free hit tomorrow night. As long as we don't lose, a draw's not a bad result. If we win, it's a great result. So I'm a little bit more relaxed going into the game tomorrow because of everybody else's results. As I said, Chelsea drew, Everton lost, Spurs are playing Arsenal, so that could easily be a draw as well. We're playing West Ham. That's really the threats for top four. So it's gone our way in a way. If we can win tomorrow, we basically get a firm grip on top four. There is talk that Rashford's going to play tomorrow with Greenwood and James because Martial's out and Cavani's out. My only issue with Rashford playing tomorrow, if he's fit or anywhere near fit, he has to start. He's one of our best players. But if we're playing him half fit, as I said this morning, I think the AC Milan game would be the more important game to play him in because, as I just said, don't play Rashford tomorrow. Maybe get a crappy 0-0 draw. We're in the same position as we were on Friday. We've got more league games anyway. But if you play Rashford tomorrow for 90 minutes and he worsens his injury so he can't play on Thursday, then Rashford's out. Whereas I think we can get a result without Rashford tomorrow, give him the rest he needs to be fresher for AC Milan. And that's just my feeling, but I think we know Ollie won't do that. He won't think like that. Marky says Ollie's going to break Rashford again. Michael O'Reilly, I don't really know what you're talking about, so I think we'll just say goodbye to you. Hey Mark, what do you think of Harry Maguire's attitude towards his teammates recently? I haven't really noticed any issue with it, Fian. He's the leader of the team. J Ball says you lot aren't getting Haaland. Maybe if you tuned in at the start of the show, you might know that without coming across as a complete and utter twat. Any outgoing news? Says 21st incoming. I think outgoings are always very difficult for Manchester United. I didn't ask about it because, to be honest with you, it's just very difficult, isn't it? What do you say about outgoings? The problem with Manchester United is, for years they'd love to have sold Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo and others, but they can't do it because they're on big wages. So, Andreas Pereira, that is an issue. No one wants to talk about Andreas Pereira. Lazio don't want him. He's coming back to United. He's still got 3 years left on his contract on a very good wage. Nobody wants him. He's going to be another Rojo. He's going to be at this club, pissing off on loan, useless. Because we gave him a 5-year contract. Was it 5 years we gave him a year ago? He's another one. Delo. He's going to be another one as well. We've got players at this club that we can't get rid of. The difference with people like Lingard is that they've gone on loan, they've shown they're an asset, and people actually do want them. Pogba will be the same to a certain extent. Henderson is the same. I think Henderson's way more sellable than De Gea because of the wages De Gea's on. Mark, if Cavani leaves, would you bring back Memphis on a free in the summer? That would leave room for spending elsewhere in the team. Stephen Donahue, if I'm absolutely honest, I do not think that Memphis Depay is good enough for Manchester United to come back. If you're going to come back to United, I mean, look at Pogba. Been a bit inconsistent, but Pogba's like up there. Memphis Depay, what's he done? Gone to Lyon. Done okay. It's not really come back to United and show what we've been missing, is it? I don't think it's the right deal for United at all. How many EPL goals would Haaland get for United in a season, considering our striker gets less than 2 chances a game? We need creators first, says Harry McCabe. Yeah, I think he'd probably get 20 to 30 goals, but I think in a Man City side or a Liverpool side, he'd probably get 40 or 50. Mark, meet across the season. Mark, meet Pizza Express with Lenny and Jack, says Sam. God, don't know what that means. Lyon got to a semi-final and first in their league. Why are you talking to me about Lyon? I'm talking to you about Memphis Depay. I don't think if Memphis Depay is so good, why is there not a queue to buy him? Barcelona want him, but they're shit. Why is there no big queue from the Premier League to sign Memphis Depay? If he's the answer to our problems, what I'm saying is Memphis Depay is a good player, but what do I always say? Ruthlessness and aggressiveness will get you back where you need to be. Buying Memphis Depay when Man City or Liverpool wouldn't even take a second look at him is not going to make us close a gap on Manchester City, is it? We need elite signings. Now, we might not be able to get those elite signings, but you've got to try and get the elite signings. Don't go for 4th and 5th choice straight away. Try and get the good signings. Any news on Rafinha, says Zane? Well, there was a story actually today that Manchester United are scouting Rafinha. I mean, look, he looks good. He looks good. Do I think there's any truth in it? Probably about as truth as any other story at the moment. I mean, I don't think United have finalised. And remember what Romano said a few weeks ago. Manchester United will sit down in the next few weeks to finalise their deal, their targets. I don't think they've finalised them yet. I think that's too late. But I don't think United have finalised their targets yet. I don't think they're actually in proper discussions with anybody yet. I think there's tentative talks with numerous players, but I don't think they've gone, that's what we're going for, that's what we're going for, that's what they're going for. They will have spoken to players. They will have spoken to players through their agents, but they've probably spoken to 4 or 5 players for each position. I don't feel that United have focused in on their targets yet. So, yeah. Maybe give Ahmed a start tomorrow and test Rashford in the second half, says Harry Hilton. Well, I'm very much looking forward to the match tomorrow. Let's see what happens with it. But I think it's going to be a big game. And I think that we need to get the win. Well, no, I mean, we do need to get the win. Because I think if we get the win, it takes the pressure off. It gives us a bit of confidence. People like Scott McTominay and Fred, they've got to produce tomorrow. They've got to put in a good performance tomorrow. Even if it's just a Duracell Bunny performance. They've got to break the play up, play the simple pass, just play better than you have done in the last 2 games. Because we know West Ham are going to be strong in the midfield. We know Declan Rice and Soucek are good players. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching Declan Rice in a way because I think that him around Bruno is going to be a very interesting challenge. Barcelona are in a way better position than Man United right now, says Danny. Okay. How do you figure that one then? I'm really interested to know why you think Barcelona are in a better position than us, because they're not. And Tellez left wing is a good shout. That's a very good shout from Rems. Why not put Tellez left wing? Why do people not think about that? I think it's a very intelligent point. Why do people not think about putting Tellez left wing? I mean, last season, Tellez was one of the best attacking left backs in Europe. We'd never let him attack. Well, if he's playing left wing, he can attack. It's a good point. Thanks everyone for watching. Please smash a like on the video. Remember, I'm wearing some Boohoo Man activewear. You can get 40% off using the code United Stand. You can look as good as me. Well, you can try. But you can get your activewear through the link in the video description. Thanks very much to Boohoo Man. 40% off. Check it out through the link in the video description. I'm back in the morning at 10 o'clock. Very interesting update tonight. Very interesting phone call. We'll have to see how that develops over the coming weeks and months. But yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Stay safe. Have a nice evening. And I'll see you in the morning and tomorrow night as well for the match. Manchester United. Watch along as ever. And as I said, Boohoo Man, links in the video description. I'll speak to you soon.